is the way that Boltoners might say have scored their first league goal in nearly 9 hours of football. It could be enough for just their first win in 8 league games. Right, quite rightly over the last few weeks there's been huge interest in Arsene Wenger's 20th anniversary as Arsenal manager. After all, he is the country's longest serving manager, isn't he? Actually, no, he's not. He's not even the longest serving in North London.
Meet Gordon Bartlett, teacher by day and by night football manager. And he's been in charge of Vanarama South Side Wiltstone for...
This is my 22nd season.
How have you survived 22 years?
Well, a lot of difficulty, I've got to say. There's been some bad times along the way. But I suppose when I first came here, we were Ryman Division 3, in administration, no home, and 2 players. So I suppose that was a pretty low starting point, wasn't it?
How many chairmen have you got through?
I could tell you that one. I'm on my 4th at the moment.
Before you came here, did you realise how many chairmen he's seen off?
Thank you. And I know most chairmen tend to go through managers. I tend to be the other way around.
And he's part of the furniture here now, isn't he?
Well, maybe describe it slightly other way than that, but yeah, it depends on whether... I'd like to think he's some sort of fancy chaise longue as opposed to an old settee, really.
What advice would you have given now to the Gordon 22 years ago?
Wow. Well, one thing, and I've stuck with this right the way along, I don't get too carried away when we win and we're doing well. You don't see me jumping about, and I might have a quiet little punch there and that moment. And likewise when we get beaten. And I would give that advice to any manager. It does get you down, there's no doubt about it, but you've got to put on a front. The time maybe I drop my guard is when I get in my car, when I'm on my own. That's when it hurts. And the other thing is, talk to people around you. You've got to share those problems and also share the success as well. I'd say this, somebody says to me, you're too nice to be a manager. No, I'd take that as a massive compliment.
Now let's see if that's actually true. Mr. Bartlett, enter managerial rival for many a year.
It's on those things.
Dave Anderson.
Yeah, what brings you down?
Well, here's the job. It's all conducted around the occasional distraction.
Oh, picking up information. Yeah, that was the
Got her.
camera.
I'm disgusted with you.
He's just a genuine man.
There's my phone
There's
going
your
off.
phone, it's 13 headers straight into.
Are you at the reception? Yeah, well, you're late, so look, I'll have to come and get you in a minute, so you just have to wait, mate. Okay, all right, give me 5 minutes, cheers. Player late for training who can't get in. Typical.
School teacher by trade, how much of that character that he's got is nurture and how much is nature?
That's a really good question. I think his nature makes him very good at nurturing. His nature is calmness. Players love him. To get a player away from his club, I've tried it on several occasions, is very difficult. I nicknamed him Uncle Gordon because that's how, and he laughs and he likes it, and because that's a real art and a real sort of skill to keep people around you.
I think you got away lightly there, didn't you, Gordon?
I got away very lightly, yeah. But
You haven't had the pill yet.
but it's interesting what he says about players, not wanting to leave. And a lot of ex-players have now gone on to be managers. I've always got a philosophy on that. They think if that old git can do it, anyone can do it. I'd like to see the club being in Conference National. That's my ambition when I first came to the club. We've had, 4 promotions since then. It's been a gradual climb. We're still trying to get, the last bit.
Still not a Gordon Bartlett stand. There's still not a Gordon Bartlett stand.
You know that well, there certainly won't be a statue. All right.
Russ Taylor asking, as Dave Anderson described there, the really good questions. Let's speak to one of our old settees on this. Ian.
Well lived in.
Yeah, certainly not a fancy chaise longue, is it?
All right, thank you.
In most walks of life...
You got the chaise longue, have you? Wow.
Me. In most walks of life, you have loyal staff who've worked 20, 30 years in one job. And yet Gordon really is an exception to the rule. Why is that in football?
I just think you sometimes get to a club where you feel at home. And I mean, Wilson's, in my days, non-league was one of the huge non-league clubs around. I think Stuart Pearce spent a bit of time there as well. So for me, Gordon's been there a long, long while, and Davey, I know really was my brother's assistant. There is them about. I played for a lad called Ted Hardy. He was the head Barrow boy on Borough Market up at 4 in the morning, still at training at 11 o'clock at night. These people do, and you know, and the most ferocious competitor you ever wish for. Gordon's much quieter than Ted was, but you know, Gordon to do that for that long a time and see off 4 chairmen has done very well. There's not 2 managers in the world who've done that. So I just think it's a huge non-league club, and there'll be huge pressure most games because they're expected to get back to that conference level. But they seem to be on their way, and if Davey calls him Uncle Gordon, it's good enough for me.
And he has had success, of course, which helps the longevity. But I mean, Paul, we're used to managers in the Premier League having such a short shelf life. Do you think that demand for immediate success is going to filter down eventually to the Wilstons and the non-league clubs?
It's all down to the individual owners and chairman, isn't it? I mean, some of them have got patience, some of them understand it better, some of them, you know, just can't help themselves. They think there's always a better scenario just around the corner. And I don't think the nature of that's going to change anytime soon. You know, I think as a chairman owner, you're either that way or you're not. Or you can see, you know, keep sacking people, starting all over again. It's got to be more expensive. So when money's tight, I would have thought giving someone a real good run at a job, giving him time to change it, understanding what he's trying to do is important. But whether owners can see that, I haven't got a clue.
But when has ever chopping and changing a manager map actually borne fruit? Apart from maybe Watford a couple of years ago, it doesn't, does it?
Look, it'd be interesting to see the stats, but some managers do go in and have an immediate impact. It depends, as Walsh is saying there, what are clubs looking for? Are you looking to build? Are you looking to promote youth? Are you looking to create longevity? Or are you just looking for that instant result? So it's very, very difficult. And I think some chairmen as well start out with the ideals of, yeah, we're going to give them time, we're going to promote these young players. I think Coventry City tried it, and now Mowbray's ended up going. So you don't really know. I always think, though, performances and results is really the currency that everybody's looking for in this game. I really do.
Yeah, Premier League managers think they have it tough, eh? How about that? 2 jobs, school teacher by day, up at 5:30 every morning and still training his team, home at 11 o'clock at night. Hats off to Gordon Bartlett, 22 years at Wilston FC. Right, 1 minute to go till kick-off in all this afternoon's